Welcome back to the Walker Valley Football Coaches Show, sponsored by Wholesale Supply Group. I'm Jacob Mason, joined by a special guest, Tanner Whittenbarger. It is East Ham week. Tanner, how we doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. What about you?
Doing good, man. Doing good. So, got to score your first touchdown as a Walker Valley Mustang on Friday night. Just talk about the excitement around that. I saw your teammates kind of celebrating with you. Talk about the excitement behind that moment.
Well, I've been waiting for that moment forever since I came here. And I'm just glad that it got to happen. And yeah, I couldn't believe it. Just so much emotions was just flowing, and I was just too happy. I don't even know how to explain it.
Yeah, for sure, man. I know you've dealt with a lot of injuries, and you've kind of been plagued with the injury bug. Just kind of talk about your mindset through that. I know that must be tough as a young man. Talk about how you kind of worked through that and how you're back here now, helping the Walker Valley Mustangs win some ball games.
Well, when I got hurt, I never really had to deal with nothing like that before, but I really just had to keep a strong mindset and just believe that God just had a purpose, and I just had to just focus and just really just grind and to get back and just believe that He had a purpose for all of it, and then I just get back better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, for those that don't know, Tanner as a junior tore his ACL and had a year-long recovery. And then this year, at the beginning of the year after Notre Dame, you dealt with an elbow injury, correct?
Yeah.
And so now, Friday night, got to score his first touchdown as a Mustang. I saw you and Evan really kind of celebrating together. Kind of talk about your relationship with Evan and your O-line.
Yeah, that's my boy. Ever since I got here, he was really just one of the first people that really brought me in and was just super nice to me, and yeah, that's my guy.
Yeah, that's your guy.
Yep.
And then talk about your O-line, how they've helped out this season. I know you're only in game 2 with them, but they've been some bullies up there up front, haven't they?
Yeah, no, they're great. They're great to have. Big boys.
Yeah,
good push.
I saw old Caden Kelly after the game. Somebody hit Evan, and he didn't like him hitting him out of bounds. I love, as a former offensive lineman, I love seeing that. Guys going to bat for him. But so kind of just talk about the offensive mentality as a whole. Like, what are y'all trying to do on Friday nights? What's your identity as a group?
Just put up points. Just go out there and just show that we're better than you, and we can do anything. We can throw on you. We can run on you. We could really just do whatever we want.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Tanner, thanks so much for joining us, man. I appreciate it. We're excited to watch you on Friday night versus East Ham, a district region game. So very excited to watch that happen. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the Walker Valley Coaches Show. Coach, it's East Ham week. As always, I'm Jacob Mason here with Coach Drew Akins. Andy's bailing out on us this week. So
can't count on him.
Yep, I get to bring it on in for us. So, Coach, kind of just talk about, let's recap Howard, and then we'll move on to East Ham.
Yeah, I was really happy with the way our guys played. I thought we came out, kind of the message going in was take care of business. It was the team that we felt like watching film and watching how they played and seeing their scores. We felt like we were the better football team coming into the game. But we talked all week with our guys about, hey, you're either getting better or you're getting worse. Like, there's no in between. You can't just go through a week, and you may get a win, but we have goals that extend past this game. So it's all about, hey, what are we going to do this week to get better as a football team? And that's hard to do when you watch tape and you feel like you're the better team, and then you go out and you score within 3 plays and have that mindset of, hey, we got to go get better. Every single week, no matter who we play, we got to go get better. And I think that's a staple of great teams that you see, across the nation. You look at Alabama, you look at Georgia, you look at some of these teams that are so good consistently, game in and game out. And you think about, how do they do that? Well, they're always playing to a standard. They're not playing against a team. They're always practicing to a standard. They're not practicing against a team. So felt like we did that in spots last week. I feel like we got better in some spots. I feel like we got a little lazy in spots, and that showed up during the game. But really proud of us going and taking care of business, being able to play some young guys in the second half. That's always something we talk about in these games where we're up like that. We want to get some of these young guys opportunities to play. So I was really happy we were able to do that. We talked to our young guys early on, before the game. Hey, it's going to come down. This shutout's going to come down to you young guys preserving that shutout. And our young guys preserved that, and because of that, we're buying a bunch of kids wings on Thursday. But really excited about that. And our defense is, again, just playing so well. Offensively, you see us open it up. And like Tanner said in the first segment, we're able to do so many things now. You have to defend pass. You have to defend vertical pass. You have to defend horizontal pass. You have to defend run up the middle. We've opened it up so much that it's become difficult to defend. And it's made Evan really show up in these last 3 games. And you see how talented he is and our ability to spread the football around.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach, I guess let's dive right on in, man. You know me, I love breaking down some film.
Yeah, you love going to the film. So, hey, let's go to the film. I want to show some really cool things. Early on, we came out right out of the gate and opened up throwing the ball. Again, we're always looking for Evan to be able to get in a rhythm. So early on in the game, you're going to see us try to hit, intermediate stuff, short, intermediate throws, just to kind of get him in a rhythm because he functions so much better in rhythm. So this is one of our biggest pass plays over my time here, and really no matter where I've been. Since my Ottawa days, this has been something that's been a staple in our offense. So I'll just kind of diagram what we're looking at when we go into this. And really it's better from the drone shot. Everything's better from the drone shot. So it's hard to see Brady here, but let's just draw Brady up. Let's say the X is Brady, and he's a little bit tighter where we can see. So our concept, and we got a receiver outside of him that's blocking. So he's going to outside release this guy, and his goal is to sit in this little triangle. So we always say find the triangle. And when you find the triangle, it's this triangle right here. You want to be in between these 3 guys. This guy's a little more shallow than normal. You typically would see this guy here. So that makes that triangle a little bit broader. And we want Brady to go find the midpoint of that triangle. And we're going to run a bubble to hold this guy down. And what we're doing is we're just reading this guy. If he runs with this vertical, we'll drop it down the bubble. If he goes up to the bubble, we'll try to find that window right behind his head. That's a lot of drawing in one thing, but we're looking for this space. That's the space we want to hit, and really not only this play, but several plays we ended up hitting that exact spot. But you'll see, we'll go back to the sideline copy. You'll see that exact look, and Evan's just reading that outside backer. And when he gets past it, he knows right now the timing of that is outstanding. So when you look at Evans releasing this ball, Brady's not even past it. So that's that triangle. You see the triangle there again. We're just looking for the space in between that triangle where we can hit really just intermediate pass. We're not expecting a touchdown necessarily here, but we're just hoping to get a nice rhythm throw in for Evan. Now Brady does a great job catching that, sticking outside. You see Hudson turn into a blocker there. Hudson's playing really good football right now, man. But Hudson turns into a blocker. Brady gets outside of it and leverages it, and he's able to get to the end zone. So really, it's always great when you're able to start the first drive up. We've done a good job of being up early, so that's been really nice. This goes back to a play we ran against Ray County. Same idea, and I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time here with this, but again, we're running what we call shot here. So Brady's going to take this safety and make a one-on-one here on the outside. Again, Hudson's out here. You can't see him in the picture. You can see his shadow. But we're just trying to get a one-on-one look here. And Hudson has some options when he gets in that. But the main thing is Brady taking this safety out of there. We don't want a double team here. That's the biggest thing. We can't get a double team. The protection is what I want to show here because I was really proud of our protection.
I was literally going to comment on the last play because they did so well. So I'm glad you're bringing that up.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job, kind of all around with our protection. And we're very, we don't build simple protections. When we do our protection, we're not looking at, normal full slide as kind of a high school staple where you just slide and it will pick up whatever comes to your gap. The problem with protections like that is it just doesn't hold up very long. So you only have 2 or 3 seconds tops to throw when you get into a full slide protection. This one is one of our protections. It's a max protection. So I learned this from a buddy who used to coach at UC Davis, which is a college out in California. He's now at South Doyle as the head coach. But I learned this from him. What we're doing is we're locking the front side. So these two are, no matter where they go, they're blocking. He's blocking that guy. We're going to slide 4 guys to get these 4 guys. So you can see those 4 guys. Any combination of blitz backside, you should be protected because we got 4 for 4. Tate is going to step up, and he's going to watch this guy. And if he blitzes, Tate's going to pick him up. If he doesn't blitz, Tate's going to go to the flat to the call. And then Noah's going to step up, and he's got the alley. If he blitzes, Noah's going to pick it up. If he drops, Noah's going to go away from the call. So you get a little switch route there as well. What happens here that's really good by Noah that I want to talk about, we're locked there. Noah has this cat on the edge. This guy loops inside, and Noah sticks with it and stones him. And Evan gets the ball off just in time. This guy delay blitzes and attacks Evan, and you'll see the timing on it. But again, we're running the take, and we're running the post here. Evan throws this ball about right there, and Hudson's on the 20 when he throws it. It's really, really impressive throw. One of the better high school throws that I've ever seen, honestly. So you'll see a good drop. You can see right here, that ball's out of Evan's hands. I know you can't see it on there. That ball's out of Evan's hand right now, and literally he's thrown to that spot. And Hudson has 25 yards or so to catch up to it. It is an absolutely on-the-money throw. Hits him in stride. Great touchdown pass. I'll tell you what, Hudson's been a game changer at the outside receiver for us. We've never attacked outside receiver like we're attacking it with Hudson. His ball skills, his ability to run has really made that a threat for us that we've really never had in our offense. If you've watched our offense ever, this has not been a staple in our offense. So being able to throw vertical to outside receiver has been a cool thing to have as a coach. I wanted to show this one. So this is, again, I brag on our defensive staff a lot. I love our defensive staff and their ability to do the things they do. This is one instance where I want to brag on our offensive staff. This is a play that we've put in. We've carried it for a long time. And honestly, what I got this play from was Ole Miss 2014. Ole Miss beats Alabama at Ole Miss, right? This is the play that Ole Miss ran to win this game. They had the ball inside the 15, probably under a minute left, and they had to score a touchdown to win the game. I think they could have kicked a field goal to tie. It's 3rd down. They're just trying to run a play. If they don't get it, cool. We'll kick the field goal and we'll tie it up. So this is the exact play that they ran. So we're going to go post cut here, and I'm going to read the safety. If the safety stays outside, we're going to try to hit this post. Okay, that's the first option in that. Okay, if the safety goes here, we have a dead screen, and Tanner looks like he's going to block this guy, and then he's going to go vertical. And what you'll see is he's got to essentially beat that guy. This guy will either run at the dead screen or he'll turn up and try to chase our running back out of it. Really, really cool play design, and it works perfect. So just the play now, dead screen and vertical. And what you'll see is you get attack dead screen, run with the post, and you see that big window that we're able to throw into. As good a throw as Evan made last time, this is probably the worst throw that he had, but we still complete it, and I just wanted to show the play design because I thought it was something really good that our offensive staff put in, and you see how much room Tanner had. Such a cool play. Going back to my Red Bank days, we had scored on this play 5 straight times that we had called it. We had scored on this play. So one of my favorite play designs. It's really difficult to defend, and really proud of our guys for executing that in that moment. So really proud of that. And then I'm going to take a second longer. I know we talked about Tanner and all that Tanner went through to get to this moment. And this is the moment that, he just caught that ball. He thought he should have scored there. earlier in the game, he got sent off because he had 2 mouthpieces, and one was in and one was out. So, like, it felt like we're just trying to score, and couldn't get him in the end zone. And at this point, it's, hey, we're going to run the ball 3 times, and either Tanner's going to get in or he's not. And really 4 times. Like, hey, we're going to run the ball 4 times. Tanner's going to score or he's not here. And the adversity that kid went through over the last 2 years, with the ACL injury, he shows up to practice every day. It's really hard as an injured kid. Sometimes they just disappear. Sometimes they just go and be a student and you lose track of them. And because of that, they never get back or they never get assimilated into the team. He's always there. He's always showing up. Our guys love him. They care about him. They're excited for him. And then he gets back game 1 and he has the elbow injury. And same deal. He had 4 rushes for 45 yards. And he didn't get in the end zone. And he's hurt again. And it felt like he was kind of snake bit. But the kid just never lost faith. I called him that Friday or that next day, and I was like, "Hey man, like, what do you want to do? Because I don't want to force you back if you're tired and you don't want to fight through it." And he said, "Coach, I want to be back on the field." And this was kind of the date they said, "Hey, the earliest it can be is Howard week." And we said, "Okay, we're going to get to work and we're going to get you back on the field by Howard week." So this moment is 2 years of adversity and grinding through injury and going back and forth about wondering why this is happening. And it's a really tribute to this kid and all he's been through. But what a great run. It's better from the drone shot, as always. But you'll kind of see just his ability to find space here. So we're running a simple power concept. Tate's going to come across the ball. He's going to get a kick-out block. Riley Myers has been so good inside. We've moved him from from tackle to guard. He's been so good at guard for us. And you'll see Tate gets a really good kick-out block here. Riley's on the backer. Tanner finds that space. And this is what Tanner does a little bit different. Tanner gets to this point and is able to just find a way to stay on his feet. Those last yards after contact, he's getting contacted at the 4-yard line, 3-yard line, and is still able to find a way balance-wise to get in the end zone. And you see the celebration that ensues off of that. Just players excited for our kid. Just all the excitement. We get a penalty, but that penalty's worth it, man, just knowing how much that kid's been through. So wanted to end on that. Just what a cool play and a cool opportunity for a kid to get in the end zone. He's back healthy, and you're going to see a lot more Tanner as a feature back in this offense, which is really exciting for our offense because that makes us that much better.
Yeah, you could tell on that play, the offensive line was blocking really early. They wanted him in the end zone. And for those people that don't know, Howard's defensive line was huge. Talking to Tanner, I looked at him, I said, "Did big old number 74 ever get a hold of you?" And he goes, "Oh, yeah." And he goes, "Andy's fast."
Yeah.
So, for them to really just bend their back and expose their will, it was really good to see Tanner finally, get into the end zone.
Yeah, it was a really cool moment. And, being able to hug him when he came off the sideline, just tell him how proud I am of him. But listen, like I said, that's the first of many. Like, we're back in it. A really cool moment before that even. Justin Warden comes in and speaks to us every Friday. And I told Justin, man, we just need to pray over this kid. So we pulled him in the office. It was me, his position coach, Caden Ricketts, who's been just a great support for him all year, and then Justin Warden. And Justin just prayed over him. And we just said, "Hey, Lord, protect him. Keep him healthy. Take all the fear away. And to see him go out and play this game again." He talked about wondering why does this happen, and just believing that God had a plan for all this, and then to see the joy that he has playing the game. Maybe that's the why. Maybe this all happened so he really appreciated being able to play this game. And if that's the only reason why, then that's a great reason why. So we're going to enjoy this time with him, and hopefully he gets a long rest of the season. The hope is that we're able to play several more games, even past the end of the regular season. And he'll be a big part of us anytime we're able to make it. As far as we make it, he'll be a huge part of that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was Howard week, 44-0 win over the Howard Hustling Tigers. This week, East Ham. Coach, I wanted to open up with this. How do you keep your team in the moment? Something that, like I've been thinking about lately is winning the moment. And it's not always about having to win the game right then and there. It's winning the moment and then winning the next moment and winning the next moment. How do you keep your guys in that kind of mind frame? Because it's really easy to look to the end of the schedule and say, oh, the region championship is going to come down to you and McMinn, but you've got to take care of business each and every week like you did with Howard and this week with East Ham. So how do you keep your guys in that moment?
Listen, I don't have to do a whole lot to keep our guys in that moment. We talk about that. We talk about that a lot in our facility. But what the kind of the term that we've come up with within our program is, hey, the next game is the most important game on our schedule, and our kids are fully bought into East Hamilton is the most important game on our schedule. And if somebody were if you look at our schedule, people would pick out Cleveland, they'd pick out Bradley, they'd pick out McMinn County. But it's none of those are the most important game. The most important game is East Hamilton because it's the next game that we play. It's a region game. It's a huge opponent. It's going to determine hosting or not hosting. Whoever wins that game is going to be a host. Whoever doesn't win that game is not going to be a host. So understanding the importance of that game, and then you turn on the film and it's a lot easier to focus because they're explosive on offense. They're scoring a ton of points. But this team, I've told y'all several times, and they just keep showing it. This team's just different. They act different. They do things different. They practice well. They've had 3 just great weeks of practice since the Bradley game, where we really had a poor week of practice, and it kind of bled over. That was a great awakening for us to say, hey, man, the way we practice is going to turn into the way we play. And our kids have just fully bought into that every single week. And you're seeing it show up on the field every single week too. So this team is just doing things differently, and they love going out and playing ball games. You can see the passion they play with, the energy they play with. So my job is just to say, hey, make sure we're focused on this opponent. Make sure we understand the importance of this opponent, because in the end, it turns into playing against a standard. And I kind of talked about that in the opening. Our job as coaches is to set a bar at a certain level and make sure that our kids are always trying to reach that bar, no matter who's across the field, whether it's, the 86 Bears or whether it's the worst team in football. It just doesn't matter. We're going to prepare to a standard. And our kids have just done that. They do that every single week. And that's why this group has been so fun to play with, because they show up every week, and it's just like it's happened for the first time. So we're excited about this week. It's going to be the game of the week on several different platforms. I believe that we're the CW game of the week. It's going to be on TV. We're the Mix 104.1 game of the week. It's going to be on the radio and on Mix TV. We are the Times Free Press game of the week, I believe. We're the Scenic City Sports game of the week. So there's going to be a lot of attention on this game. And we continue to tell our guys, there's a top 5 in the Times Free Press, and a team that we've beat is on it, and we're not on it. And we're using those things as motivation to say, hey, we got to keep showing who we are for people to gain respect for us. So we're going to continue to try to show, and this is a great opportunity that's going to have a lot of eyeballs on it to show kind of who we are right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So previewing East Ham, just kind of talk about, you said an explosive offense. Off air, we talked about how they're averaging about 35 points a game. Kind of just talk about what their identity is offensively, and then we'll move over to the defense side of the ball.
Yeah, their identity, they want to build everything off the run. So they're a run-based offense that then tries to get you in the box, and then they're able to use their athletes out at receiver to go get explosive plays. I think a huge key in this ball game is going to be who wins the explosive play battle. They do a great job of developing ways to create explosive plays. Tunnel screens and stretches and jets. Those things are things that they use as part of a run game. But also, when you get the ball in the number 8's hands, the wide receiver, he's able to take it At any moment, he can go score. Number 11 at running back is a sophomore running back that kind of came in and has been really good. He won Player of the Week 2 weeks ago with 6 touchdowns at running back as a sophomore. Their starting running back, number 12, is also a kid that can go score at any moment. He scored twice. 2 long runs against Ottawa last week. So they just kind of develop, create ways to create explosive plays. Coach Nance, their head coach, and I and our defensive staff have been friends for a long time. He's a great guy. He's an outstanding coach. He was the offense coordinator at Grayson in Georgia. If you know anything about Grayson, they're one of the best programs, not only in Georgia, but in the nation. He won a state championship as an offense coordinator there. And he's just kind of brought the same mindset to Chattanooga, and he's scoring a lot of points, and we've got to make sure that we're ready defensively to defend all the things they do, because they do put a lot on your plate. And it's kind of the same thing we talked about earlier with our offense. They're going to stress you in the middle with the run. They're going to stretch you vertically with deep pass, and they're going to stretch you horizontally, with screen passes. So he does a great job of mixing all that in. And defensively, we're going to have to have a great plan, which our defensive staff always does. And then we got to go execute that plan with our defensive kids. Now, the good news is we have got kids on the defensive side of the ball that are really playing. Connor Phillips caused a fumble last week. Braxton Smith recovered another fumble last week. Tyron Forte's done a great job all year. Leandre Hinton had a bunch of tackles. Jacob Hollingsworth is the leader on our defense, and he's just always where he's supposed to be. He's a vocal leader. He's a leader with the way he plays the game. We just have a lot of guys that are playing really good football right now. And the unsung guys, Eli Cross has been really tough at nose. Jack Shantz has done his job over and over and over. Noah Green, same deal. Nolan Chabelle, I could go through and just name guys on our defense that are just doing what they're coached to do, and we've got to continue to do that, executing that plan with our guys.
Yeah, defensively this year, in years past, you can look back and, we talked about Eli Denton and those guys. This really seems like a we defense. Yeah. There's guys flying around to the football all over the place. We talked about, you can give defensive player of the week for somebody at every level every week, and it's because everybody's making plays. Yeah. So that's obviously a great cushion to have.
Yeah, listen, that was kind of our thing, early in the year. How do you replace it? We got asked. I can't tell you how many times Jacob got asked and I got asked, how do you replace number 42? And I remember telling him, you don't replace 42. You moneyball it, and you make 11 guys all play the same way as 42 played the game, and we have that. We have 11 guys that play the game that way with that kind of passion and that kind of energy. And when 11 guys buy into playing that way, you get a defense that's really performing well. It's showing up on Fridays over and over and over. Our third shutout of the season, and it's going to be strength on strength this Friday. Their offense is obviously a strength with 35 points a game, and then our defense giving up under 10 a game. It's going to be a heavyweight battle between those two sides of the ball, and we got to make sure that we find a way to get stops and get stops in the red zone and limit the explosive play, because that's going to be a huge stat in this game is the explosive play.
All right, Coach, and lastly, just talk about what they look like defensively, not in the sense of how they play, but what do they run? What kind of defense are we looking at?
Well, they had ran an odd defense, so odd 3 down, even 4 down. They had run an odd defense for the entire season. They had been 3 down linemen, predominantly all the way through the Howard week. We had the Howard film and noticed that they were still in their 3 down stuff. Last week against Ottawa, I'm not sure if it was a game plan decision or they had injuries and they needed to replay. I don't know what caused it, but they changed their defense to a 4 down structure, an even structure. Part of that's probably the way Ottawa's offense is set up. So you don't want to overreact and say, hey, we're only going to work 4 down this week because that's what they switched to. So it did give us some challenges in our preparation of, hey, how are we going to work 4 down? How are we going to work 3 down? How are we going to work this blitz and that blitz? How are we going to work this coverage, because they roll coverage based on which front they're in. So we got to do a really good job of practicing that throughout the week. That way, when we get to Friday, It doesn't matter if they're 3 down or 4 down. We're prepared for both. So that has been conversation in our offensive office of how are we going to work this. One thing I want to commend our offensive staff for this year is they've just done a great job of making sure we practice things that we want to call. Our practice schedule has been so much more efficient this year because of the preparation that the offensive staff has done. And I'm really proud of those guys for making those adjustments and learning that in the offseason. Instead of just rolling the ball out and calling plays during practice, we have specific times where we're working specific things and make sure that we have really getting 8 to 10 reps of each concept that we want to run. We're getting that throughout the week. And that's been huge. So really proud of our guys. We got to make sure we prepare well this week. And then we get out Friday and we make adjustments based on what they decide to be in.
Well, Coach, the Mustangs are rolling. We're rolling into Eastham this Friday night. It's at Eastham, so 7 o'clock start. Or is it going to be 7:30?
This one's going to be weird.
All right.
It's a 7:05 start.
Okay.
Because the CW TV game. So
okay.
Part of being the TV game is they're going to come on at 7 o'clock. They're going to do their intro, and we'll actually kick off at 7:05. So really excited to be on that platform. Excited to put our guys on that platform and allow Chattanooga area to be able to watch it. So it'll be on the Chattanooga CW. It'll be on Mix TV. And it's a 7:05 start. So really excited to go down and be in that atmosphere. They always do a good job. It'll be a fun game.
Absolutely. So if you can be there at Eastham. If not, if you're traveling, listen to us on Sports 99.1. Or if you're at home, turn it on to Mix TV. So we're excited for Eastham this week. Coach, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
All right, go Mustangs.